Well, everybody, Spegtacular, the Silverstacular is here. I just want to give you 4 or so very easy guidelines to live by when it comes to stacking precious metals. First of all, hey, look what I got right here, a little show and tell, right? Went to my local places over the weekend, had some money to spend, and I said, let's get rid of some cash to go ahead and get myself into precious metals. Got some really cool things I do want to show you at the same time while I'm talking about some rules that will help new, old, whatever stacker level you are. It's going to help you to make sure you're successful in stacking precious metals. Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silverstacular. First of all, the most important rule, I think, guideline, rule, whatever you want to call it, is don't listen to anyone. That includes me. Just don't listen, right? Just what I mean by that, do your own thing. Just do it, right? Have a plan and focus on your plan, whatever that happens to be. Just focus. You know, if I say, hey, you got to go out right now and get silver and gold because it's going to go to XYZ tomorrow morning. Don't rely on me to be your savior, right? Do your own research, be your own bank, do you at the end of the day. That's the most important thing. No matter how reputable somebody seems to be, Jim Cramer, right? He's one of the guys on TV. Now he's on TV. He's had a show for years. I watched him when I was younger. He's a stock guy. Of course, people rely on him for information. Jim Cramer has lost me money. Seriously, Jim Cramer, I'm telling you right now, you've lost me money. I felt like a rule was if Jim Cramer recommended a stock that you wanted to get out of that stock as quick as possible because it's about to go down. Hey, short the stock, if anything, right? Because it's about to plummet. And that seemed to be what I noticed with Jim Cramer. I mean, even a broken clock is right a couple times a day, right? Right? And that's kind of the Jim Cramer approach, and not just to pick on Jim Cramer as a human being, but that's anybody. You could say, hey, silver is going to go to $25. Hey, eventually, I bet you it will. Silver is going to go to $30. Eventually, I bet it will. Silver is going to go to $80. Eventually, I bet it will. But who knows when eventually is? We could be dead by the time eventually hits. And that's why I said, don't trust anybody. Be your own person. Trust yourself. Do your own research. Believe in what you want to believe. If you want to stack because you think eventually this stuff right here is going to shoot the moon, then stack that way. Just don't be mad if I don't believe that or if I believe something else, because we're going to all have different beliefs, aren't we? These, by the way, let me talk about what I'm actually showing off. These little PGA Tour Partners Club, right? Hall of Fame. I don't know if anybody out there is a golfer. I like golf. I thought these were actually kind of cool. Saved these from the melting pot. And I had like $1,200 to spend on precious metals. And so this is part of what I was able to get. And this was not like I pointed those out saying, hey, I want those. This actually goes to my next kind of talking point, which is build a relationship, right? Went into the shop that I, frequently go to, one of many, and I said, hey, wanted to buy some silver. The shop owner knows that I like just random things, right? Just different things. And they said, hey, these are coming out today. Would you go ahead and would you like these? Would you want to go ahead and buy these? And I said, yeah, that's what I do. I don't really love buying, 20 Buffalo rounds or 100 Buffalo rounds, whatever the amount is. It's the same old thing. And I get it. You're stacking for weight right at the end of the day. But if I can get something that's a little different, that just helps me mentally in my stacking game, getting different things, something else to look at. That's what I love. And not to say that I didn't do that a little bit today. In fact, I'll show you right here. I'm going to knock all these down by doing it. But I got 20 of these Ashai, however you want to say it. I'm sure they're not going to get offended if I say it wrong. These little refining rounds. These are beautiful rounds. Absolutely. Let me take one out for you. These are beautiful rounds. Nothing wrong with it. But once you see one and you have 20, why would you look at the rest? What's the point, right? It's silver is silver. And now if I can buy cheap bullion, and I get different ones, why would anybody hate? I tested them all on a Sigma machine to make sure they're all legit. So did the shop owner, actually. But That's part of building a relationship. That shop owner knows me, right? And he goes, hey, I know what you like. Here it is. And I just walked in the store. I barely have time sometimes to even say, hello, how are you? They go, oh, hey, Speg, look at this. Look what I got in right here. And they show me because I've built that relationship. Buying, selling, or just spending a few moments to chit chat, maybe talk a little strategy, a little insider information back and forth. And shops love that. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, Spegtacular. I'm not some YouTube star that, is going to make Coin Guy do favors for me because, technically I made Coin Guy world famous by showing him on YouTube. And you probably think, oh, that's why he does, favors for me, or he gives me little discounts here and there. That's, first of all, that might have something to do with it for sure. I'm not going to say it doesn't because that would probably be lying. But the fact that I went into his shop and I speak to him, we become friends because, I buy and I sell and, we work together and insider information back and forth. I give him advice on different things that he might not be familiar with. When it comes to technology-based things, he's not, the most savvy person in the entire world. And I can give him those kind of little bits of information. When he and I came together to work on silver rounds together, I made his logo. I created it. Sitting right there, I was able to do that based on my little bit of skill set on the computer and put them together, made all the contacts happen, and made us a silver round. Technically, all he had to do was provide me with a little bit of money in order to get his side of it done. And that's part of the relationship, isn't it? That back and forth is happening. And that's building a relationship. And you might not do that very same thing with your local place. You might go a little differently. You might just talk to somebody. You might just be a buyer once in a while. They may know your face. They may know your name. And just that little bit of interaction will help you build that relationship. But it'll also give you good deals to building that relationship. It'll help you find stuff that you wouldn't have been able to find before potentially. Once the dealer knows what you like, he might be like, hey, Greg, John, Timothy, whatever your name is, Michael, Isaiah, I knew you love these right here. I happen to get a whole bunch. Here you go. So build a relationship. I find it to be super important. You can even build relationships online. Either a buyer or a seller can do the same thing. If you're a seller, man, know your customers. Know what they like. Look at one of the people that I interviewed not too long ago, Steven's Best Loot. He knows what I like. When I jump into one of his live shows on Instagram and I just jump in there, he goes, hey, Spegtacular, look what I got right here. This is the kind of stuff you like. You want to buy it? Right there, I'm like, yeah, that's me. Or maybe it's not me at the time. I don't know. But that relationship is super important, and I can't stress that enough, and is why I've spent a little too much time on this video talking about that. So let me show off a little bit more silver while I'm talking, because these right here are cool. Jack Nicklaus, remember that guy? Huh? No, not Jack Nicholson. This is Jack Nicklaus, the golfer. Anyways, so build a relationship, super important. Another thing is buy only what you can afford. Precious metals is truly an investment, and I'm going to use a real example that recently just happened. I posted a picture of these right here because I was so proud to get these cool little pieces. I thought they were neat, and I was paying only a couple dollars over spot for them. And if I can do that and not get buffalo rounds, generic, just regular old rounds, and get something special, I am into that. That's big in my world, like I mentioned earlier. So I did that, and somebody reached out, and they said, hey, I have been looking for those. I would love to buy all those. I didn't even know these things existed, so they weren't so deeply implanted into my heart yet. And I'm like, hey, if it's going to go to a good home, I saved them from the melting pot once. You can do that too. If you really want them that bad, then sure, let's do it. We worked out a deal. He said, okay. I said, okay. A few minutes later, the guy came and said, hey, talk to the wife. She said, no go, got some bills to pay. And I was like, man, I had already thought about how I'm going to do things, how I'm going to adjust my day around getting these out into the mailbox so that you can get them early and blah, blah, blah. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating when people can't, afford this stuff. And now it's a trickle effect onto other people, right? And it can also, as you right here watching, it can be frustrating to you too. If you go out and you buy a bunch of this stuff, you say, you know what? I don't know that I really have the money right now per se, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend some money on precious metals because I'm in the mood. I got that addiction. I just want to go ahead and buy. And you go out and you spend money on these things. And I don't know, a little bit later, you find out that your wife is just now finding out about you buying this stuff. And she had plans for that money. She was going to pay some bill off, or she was going to go out with her friends and party and spend all your money. Whatever the case may be, somebody else had plans for your money. Or shoot, something bad happens. You got to go to the hospital. Now you need hospital money, and you've drained your bank account because you truly believe that fiat is totally worthless and you're going to go use it all on precious metals. But then, unfortunately, the hospital doesn't think that fiat's totally worthless, and they don't really care about precious metals too much. I mean, a lot of their stuff that they have, their machines and tools actually does have precious metals in there. That's a little insider information there. But they don't really buy stuff with precious metals, right? They need that fiat that you just used all of to buy this. So what are you going to do? You're going to go to the shop that you bought these from with your tail between your legs, and you're going to sell them, and you're going to lose. Because I paid $2.50 over. If I sell these right now, it's about 50 cents to $1 over is what they're paying for them. The premiums have come down, and so have the buying prices. So I'm going to lose out, on my investment immediately if I have to go ahead and trade it in. So be aware of that. Only buy what you can afford. It's a regular investment, ladies and gentlemen, like anything else out there, a regular investment. So don't spend all your money on this one investment. You know that right now. Right? I'm beating a dead horse. You're aware. You're smarter than that. You realize, you say fiat's trash, but you know for a fact that you got to use that stuff in today's world. It is what it is. I agree that paper has no true value, but if you put $100 on there and you make it from the government and it's all green, I can use that for a lot of things right now. A lot less than 10 years ago, but for sure because of inflation. But I can still use that every day. And this stuff right here, I have to go trade it into a certain person for that green stuff and then trade it in for those things that I want. So realize that. Here's Arnold Palmer. Everybody knows that guy. Even if you're not a golfer, you know Arnold Palmer, right? He looks so young there. Jeez. By the way, if there's one thing that any of us children learned from that Pixar flick, Finding Nemo, it's keep on swimming, right? Billy Casper, keep on swimming. Keep on swimming. And that's another rule and an important thing to live by when it comes to precious metals is maybe don't swim, but keep on buying. Another Billy Casper is a twofer. What do I mean by that? Keep on buying. Well, just what I said, ladies and gentlemen, keep on buying. Don't be like, hey, I bought 10 of these silver rounds. The price has come down. What a terrible investment. I'm out. I'm getting out of there. I'm smarter than that. These people who stack precious metals are dumb because the price is coming down. It's never going to be a crazy high price, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. You've heard all these people. These people leave comments in my videos down below all the time. These negative Nancys. And they get negative and more negative all the time, especially when silver is not spiking and going to the moon like some people have suggested it should. The best thing you can do, and like I said earlier, don't listen to anyone because that'll persuade you on this part, but also just keep on buying, just little by little. If you can only buy 10 today, and in a month and a half, you're able to, afford 10 more, then that's when you should do it, right? You've got money aside for other things that may happen, and then you use that, whatever that side money, that investment money, to get 10 more pieces of silver. And just little by little, I tell you what, some of the dinosaurs out there, and you know who you are if you're a dinosaur. I'm starting to become one too. I'm almost 40 now, but I wish I had gotten into this game much earlier. They probably wish that they could have bought more at different times in their dinosaur life, their prehistoric eras. But just keep buying as you can, just keep buying, and you're going to see an accumulation happen, and you're going to see silver just piling up that you just, man, I forgot about that. Oh man, I had no idea that I had that Ben Crenshaw piece way back over there in the back of the, dresser or underneath the mattress, wherever you're hiding it. I had no idea I had so much. And it's going to keep accumulating, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to end up losing your light like that. It's just going to fall because it's going to be jam-packed full of other things like silver, that it's just laying everywhere. And I'm just going to throw some silver out it's just laying here. I just don't know what to do with it all. I don't got room for it anymore. And that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? just having no space for your precious metals. Because what does that mean? What does that mean? That you're stacking, you're accumulating wealth, and you just little by little, it just adds up and you don't realize it sometimes how much there actually is. And if I want to go right now and sell my stack, I'm going to feel pretty good about myself personally. I mean, I'm going to be like, man, over the years, it's just been adding up, ready to liquidate, ready to retire, ready to hand over some wealth to maybe the kids. I don't know, but it's going to accumulate before you know it. If you can just keep on swimming, keep on buying little by little. By the way, I found this too at the shop. This was in the junk bin. This was in just a couple dollars over spot bin, 2012 American Eagle. And I know you're probably thinking like, that doesn't make any sense. Those things are way over spot. It does have a little spot of its own, a little scratch going right there. You probably see it on the camera. Some little scratches there. And so the owner was like, hey, I can't sell these for regular Eagle prices. That scratch right there just deducts a lot from the pricing, so I can sell it to you for a couple dollars over. And I was like, you know what? With an Eagle at that price, why not, right? Why not? And that's what I did. I got some of these too, some of these Sunshine minting rounds. But yeah, I hope you all, appreciate the advice. And this is something that's coming to you from somebody who's not a super long time stacker. I've been stacking now for probably a little bit over a decade now. Technically a little bit as I was younger, but I really didn't know what I was doing as far as stacking. I didn't know that had a name to it. I was doing things and not knowing, just like, we all do when we're children, right? We just do things and not really understand what we're doing. Luckily for me, it was stacking. And yeah, just little by little, it's just accumulated. And this last decade going harder than usual on that front, it feels good. I feel confident. Whatever's going on in the world, I still have some feeling of safeness. And because of this keep swimming approach that I've taken. Also, my don't listen to anyone approach. If somebody says silver's going to $30, if they say silver's going to $80, I don't care. Sometimes, like as a YouTuber, I'll put that in my videos because people like to see that. They like to have that confidence that, their stuff is potentially going up. And it's somebody's opinion, right? It's some other person's opinion. I never say that on my show. I don't believe I can predict the future like that. I do believe that at some point silver will go to 30, but it might not even be in the next 2 years, 3 years. I personally don't believe it's going to 30 in 2023, but that's a personal belief. If it goes to 30, I'm just wrong in my personal belief. And I'm still happy that it did. I'm a little sad that I can't buy silver for cheaper, but, I think it's going to go to 80 at some point. But what is some point? It could be 100 years from now, who really knows? And I don't care what it goes to. I'm just going to keep buying little by little. Little by little, keep on swimming. That's my goal. I know you're probably trying to do the math, trying to figure out if I, because I said I spent about $1,200 on silver. There's some things that aren't here actually that I ended up melting because, I like to build stuff out of precious metals. And I'll show you a couple of things that I made. I don't know if I should antique these or not, but I'll show you what I got here. Here's a little patriotic skull. Came out decent, has some holes and stuff that occurred in it, but it almost gives it a little extra character. Those little spots right there. Those little spots. I put a little Spegtacular logo on there. I know what you're thinking. It looks like a certain symbol out there, but I promise it's just a star with an S in the middle. It's not what you think. It's not what you're trying to get at. And then I put these out there, 2.5. I'll probably just put these on my website, oldspegtacular.com, and just for funsies. I like to offer people things like that to, like a little way to, commemorate the channel. Things like that. I think it's fun. This came out actually pretty well. I don't know if I should antique this one and darken up just kind of like the logo, but it came out nice and shiny, a little domed piece. This is 1.5 ounces, 999 fine silver, 2023. Came out kind of nice, right? Came out kind of cool. So that'll be on there. And I got one more piece. I usually keep these kinds of things for myself because they're so large. And, first of all, you got to have priority level shipping because it weighs, more than a pound. And it's a pain. It's a pain too. So this is actually 13 ounces. It reminds me of that scene from Star Wars where it's the Death Star's coming in from one side and okay, that's enough of that. But I don't know. I was playing around, got some pour marks on there. It looked cool. Thought I put my logo on there, and then I wrote on there, in case anybody was curious what it was, it is poured silver. So I don't know. It came out kind of neat, right? Came out kind of neat. I think I maybe should antique it, you know, kind of darken it up a little bit. That way you'll really notice the ripples in it, but it's just a rough idea. Anyways, I spent way too much time talking about that. Let's talk more about the future, right? What did I say? Keep on stacking. Don't listen to anybody. Only buy what you can afford. Make sure you're building a relationship, okay? There's a lot of advice within this video, and it's things that I've learned over my time as a stacker and my time, you know, owning this YouTube channel. And like I've told you guys many times, like you see in the intro, this is a journey. This is not something where I'm going to be done in a day or a year or whatever. I've had this channel for a long time now, a long time. And as long as YouTube allows me to keep it, I'm going to keep the journey going. And so you're going to see the process of a stacker along this journey. You've seen things like already on this journey of me building relationships, of me ignoring other people and doing my own thing, which is don't listen to anybody, of course, and buying only what I can afford. Sometimes you've seen my videos where I've bought nothing and I've showed zero. And it's because it's not a good time for me to buy. I got other things I got to do. And you've seen videos like that and you think, oh, it's the most boring video. But there's a lesson within that video, and that's the reason why I make them. You know, you've seen me continue to buy. Although, you know, other people are doing different things. There's a lot of negativity out there. I just keep buying little by little. Price of silver has come down a few dollars. And what did I do? I'm showing you silver right now that I purchased because I believe that I should keep on buying. I had the money to do it. I had the extra funds. It wasn't going into any other, you know, area of my life. It wasn't affecting my children, my family, my home. It was just a side investment, and it's right here for you to see. And this is my journey. I hope you appreciate these little lessons. And I tell you what, if you can just follow those lessons, I guarantee you will be a successful stacker. I guarantee it. Or your money back. How much money did you spend on this video? I'm sorry, you spent nothing. You get no money back. I got to go for now. Appreciate you for watching. This guy, Spegtacular, is out.